In this episode of Tesla series, we are reviewing this really awesome rear climate control and entertainment display with larger air vents for Tesla Model 3 and Model Y. It got USB input. There is also a charging. You can control the climate, and this supports 4K playback now. So extremely high quality display. You are able to use features such as maintain the climate control, unlock and lock the door. There is the seat control. There is a recline of the seat, as well as having this heated seat in the back. It got the full Android version here with Disney Plus, Netflix, and many other apps. What's going on, everyone? Shiva Sapkota here with another Tesla accessory review. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago when I was reviewing the rear entertainment climate control display that had the dual air vents from top and bottom, and I said this? V2 screen, I believe that was, where it was really nice. The airflow was really big and the graphics were nice, but then it didn't have any Bluetooth or anything to connect to wirelessly. That is the version that I want. Well, looks like T-Sport line actually listened to the feedback and they delivered on this display. This is the display that we like, with larger air vents. They have crisp quality graphics, the Bluetooth works. They added so many new features and they basically perfected the design. Full disclosure, T-Sport line did send us this display free of charge for our review and evaluation in the channel here today. They're not sponsoring the video. They're not paying us to say anything. This is not an advertisement of the display, but rather a detailed installation and our honest opinion. We're gonna put it through some extreme testing in the channel, including the airflow testing. We're gonna test all the apps and everything and show you what this display does. If you do make a purchase using our discount code Shiva Tesla, we might make a very small commission at no additional cost to you, and that helps us bring more videos like this in the future. Thank you very much. Let's get started. So this is what the packaging looks like. It's a very familiar package. And then they send you a little pry tool, as well as the screen itself here. They have this data port now over here, and then the charging port. These air vents are larger air vents, and then they're kind of facing towards the side. This one is facing straight, so that's really nice. And then it has everything already included, just one input. You don't have to take apart anything, so I like that install. Then we have got this wiring here, and very standard wiring. Again, just like the older version, this is the larger pin connector that goes for the newer cars, and they send you the smaller pin connector for the older ones. They also send you the seat control button over here, and then this is the one that in a Model Y or newer Model 3 where I want to plug this into that USB-C port, because if you look at it, there's nothing where we can plug into the USB-C in the back. So I'll show you how to do all of this here in just a second, but that's everything that the packaging comes with. First thing we'll start here is with the removal of this unit here. Nothing fancy. You don't need a pry tool or anything. You just have to pry using your finger here and just grab onto this top unit. There are no screws, nothing. You just pull this out. And when you pull this out, it just comes out like this. Now for the newer cars with the USB-C here, you're going to see this plate where all you have to do is just lift up on this plate here. And then while holding this up, you can just pull this out and then it comes out. Now, if you have a unit with a USB-A here, then there's going to be a little button that you have to pinch in the middle, and while holding it down, you just pull that out and then it comes out. So between different units, that's the difference, USB-C versus USB-A. After you remove this top, the first thing I would do is install this unit here. And this just kind of slides in like this, and then you can just put this to secure the plug here. With this now, all of your front USB and everything will continuously function. So we're not going to be using this harness, so we're just going to put this away, but make sure that you do this step. Next, we're going to remove this bottom panel here. Nothing special. You just have to take a pry tool here and then pop this out. It shouldn't require much force. There's just a few clips that are connected here, that are all connected here, and this is where your OBD plug is. You don't have to remove this screws because we're just going to fish the wire through inside. But if you want to make your life just a little bit more easier, feel free to remove those Torx screw as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bypass this over here, and then the other end of this will just go to the top. So we're going to be routing to the top. But there's also this cable that you see here. This one goes to the seat control button. And for this one, we're going to route it through there, through the underneath the seat, go from here all the way towards the right, and then we'll go out and then install that. So what you do is you take this plug and then kind of insert it through this edge here to the top, and then you can grab that plug from the top over here without needing to remove this panel here. So just push it as much as you can from the bottom, and then if you look at it here, it's already coming out, and you can just use your hands to just pull this out from here, see? So that way, you don't have to remove this panel at all. This just comes right out. For this bottom bypass over here, this is super simple. You just press and hold on this middle tab here and then pull this out. And what you're gonna do is take this male end of the new harness and then plug it in here. So just make this straight and then simply plug this in here. Then you're going to take this female end and then plug this in right here to make it a complete circuit. So that's what we're going to do. Just align this, doing this with my non-dominant hand. I'm holding the camera with one, and still, this is done. So that is the full circuit over here. Now, if you don't want the seat control button, like this one here, then you can bypass that installation by simply removing the seat control button from here. All you have to do is push on this middle part, and then it just kind of comes out. So you don't have to install this cable, this skinny cable here, and you can completely remove that part of the installation process. But if you are going to install the seat control button, then what we do is we route this through underneath here, take it out from there, go to that side, and let me show you how to bypass it over there on the seat control. We have done this so many times. There are a lot of videos in the description below for more detailed installation. After you have routed the cable through inside and you have the plug kind of over here, there are two different options that you can go about this. If you don't mind, working on a tight space, you can also kind of pinch this in, and that's the plug that you need to reach. So that's the plug that we got to reach from here, and there's space if you just, again, this is a tedious space and you can reach from here. That's one way. Another way is if you bend down over here and look, there is a screw right here. If you remove that screw, this whole panel kind of comes out, and then you can install the seat control button there. So those are the two different ways you can install this. I typically just go through here because there is a little bit of space. As you see, I can prop this out and then get to that plug. So I have another bypass here, as you can see, so I can show you this a little bit better. Take this plug from the center console, route it all the way underneath the seat over here. And what you do is there's a male and female. There is a female port on the seat that is facing like this way. So it's facing towards the left over here. Then what you do is you unplug the male side. So it would normally be kind of flip-flop here. So this would be facing this way. So you unplug it first, then you take the male side off the Tesla's connector and then plug it onto this female of the new harness. So you take that, you plug it in. Then you take the male end of the new harness and then you plug it into the Tesla connector there. But the space is so tight and I can't show you there. That's why I wanted to show you with this extension here. And then so essentially you are just plugging it in like that, and then it plugs into its place and you're good. That's the whole bypass. Over here, all you have left is this plug and then this plug that came with the screen. And all you have to do is align those two plugs together and then just push this in. And that's it. That's the installation, and this should turn on. There's that T-Sportline logo. So super simple. There are no more connections to be made with the screen, and all we are going to do is align this and then push it in. So I have camera in my one hand. I'm doing this with my left hand just to show you that this is very, very simple installation. So then you align this and then just push it in. There you go. This is done. That's how easy the installation process is. So the first thing I notice about this display is the amazing graphic quality. This is the best graphic quality we ever had. They say that this supports 4K playback now, and I believe it. It just looks so much clarity in here that this looks like a Tesla display. This does not look like a cheap Android product here. It has so much clarity over here. There's a minimalist design where you can see it's really nice design, and this is exactly replicated over here. It shows what the screen is and just the clarity. The camera is not doing any justice right now. It's a kind of a cloudy day, but if you can tell from the clarity that you see here on this button, that's just really amazing. So this is the main screen over here, and I'm gonna try to see if I can change this from Celsius to Fahrenheit. But if we go over here and you turn on the air vent, as you see, this is in Airvent 1, so it shows that there is a less airflow going on. But then if we slide this to, let's say, 5, you see more airflow going. So that even changes based on the airflow that we have. And then at, of course, 10, that's the must airflow, so that changes. We can't change where the air goes, but this is really nice that it changes, and then you are able to adjust the airflow here to 0, 1. We can turn this off, we can turn this on. I'll just make sure that the main screen is on for this to work. But this is really nice. And then temperature, you can change the temperature. Again, I'm gonna see if I can change that to Fahrenheit. If not, that will be a bug. But that is what you see here on the main screen. This one is to maintain the temperature, so keep climate control mode enabled, stay on after you leave the car, will turn off when battery reaches 20%. So this is the first time I have seen this actually work, because in the past version they say that it works, but I have never been able to get this to work. So it's really nice. And then you can set this to either high or low or medium for what the climate control you want to stay on. So that's really nice. And then this is the unlock and lock for the main car. Now moving on to the next icon here, this is the seat icon. So that has all the other ones from the past, like seat heater turning on and off. We can do that easily from here, turn off, change the intensity, and that only works for the rear seats, of course. So seat heater, no big deal. But the graphic here looks a lot better than the previous version too. If you look at it, this is an actual Tesla. The screen and everything shows really well. Then this is your seat control button that we installed earlier. So how this works is you can just control the seat. It goes forward, it comes backward. You can change the recline. So reclines forward, recline backward. So that is what you see here on the screen. Again, the graphics look a lot better. Then we go to the next icon over here. This is the main menu icon. You see settings, there's Android setting, there's Chrome, the full Play Store, YouTube, there's files that you can see. There's no files here right now. This is just the regular screen files, but you can download anything over here, and we'll try to use some files over here using a flash drive, and then we'll do a demonstration of what we find. So right here, when I went to the menu and settings, this is where I found the style and the temperature. So temperature unit, you can go from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So that is really amazing that they allow us to change that, the time, the style, brightness, you can set it, the temperature, again, version. So there is that version. And then you can also go over here to check for upgrade, and it says please check for upgrade file. Let me hit that. A new version detected, and it is downloading. So they even have the OTA figured out on this one. Let's see if it actually works. So 69%, 70%. So update is going, which is really great. After this menu, you go to the next one where there's a music icon. This is to control the multimedia of the main screen. So whatever's playing in the Tesla, you can play, pause, next. We have seen this in the past. And then this is, of course, the volume. So you can increase or decrease the volume through here. And then this is the screen off. So that will allow you to turn the screen off completely. Again, they still haven't included a password protected screen unlock, which I hope that is a feature that is coming. But for now, you still have that option to turn off the screen. So when you scroll through the app, there is this thing called Auto Link. What this Auto Link does is it basically allows your car to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for the rear passengers. I personally don't think this is too useful for the rear passengers just to have Apple CarPlay. This is great for the front passengers. But wait, it gets better. When I click on this setting over here, it says default connection type, and I saw that it said mirroring mode first. So I got curious, click on that, and now all of a sudden you got wireless mirroring. It also has a wired mirroring here. So I click on this, it tells me I have to turn on the personal hotspot, which the personal hotspot is turned on my phone here. The Wi-Fi is connected to the same Wi-Fi, both of this displays here. That means I can go over here and click on this ZZ AirPlay. And when I click on it, just give it a couple of seconds, and then it will connect to this display right here. We got a full-on iPhone mirroring. Now, on the last display, there was this functionality as well, and we really like it because this is such a useful functionality. Now, you can go, you could be in the front passenger seat, the back seat, and you can basically AirPlay whatever is playing here to this display over here. So this is a really nice option, but the last version did not have Android Play Store. This one does. And now not only you get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you also get mirroring, and it offers for both Android and iPhone mirroring, which is a really awesome thing. So don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you Android users. Over here, when I press on Android, this is where it comes up. Here is a barcode that you can scan, a QR code. And when you scan this, it will take you to an app called link innovation. Now, Google is going to yell at you that this is not a trusted app. Just do this at your own risk. I went ahead and said, go ahead and install this anyways, because this is not available in the Google Play Store. It is always going to freak out the security. But just to show you, I went ahead and bypassed all of that on my phone over here. Now from here, you can either do USB connection or the wireless connection. So if you do the wireless connection here, if you tap here, it will tell you to go ahead and connect the phone to Bluetooth. I already did that. And then it says turn on the mobile hotspot. I already did that. So now all I have to do is start the screen projection, and it just says wait, and then it gives you this. Then I can go ahead and start using it. And if you look at it, I have the full version of the Android screencasting here, basically the phone mirroring for Android. And in the past we only had iPhone mirroring. Now it also supports Android mirroring. So that's pretty neat that they even included that functionality where the Android mirroring works really well as well. Another thing that is way better on this display is that Netflix and Disney Plus actually work. Just out of the box, it works. You click on here. Of course, I already logged in, and as you see, it is very reactive, and you can go through all of these sections here. You can watch any movies and actually plays. I was able to watch some shows, just testing it out, because sometimes you click on it and they don't play. So Netflix, that's an example that the Netflix works. And if we go to Disney Plus, as you see, Disney Plus loads, and the quality is just really amazing. The clarity that you see here, and as you see, it loads and you are able to play. So this is just so amazing. If you have kids, they love watching Disney Plus in the back. Now we got a display that actually has that built in. And another thing I really like about this whole display is that they created this software tab over here. So if we go over here, it's called Install. When you click on that, if you look at it, they got storage and it shows Disney Plus and Netflix. So they added those two apps here. So they preloaded those two apps here. But let's say if you want to download another app and the Play Store isn't letting you download that app, go to the internet, find something called APK where you can manually download something on a flash drive. So if we load a flash drive over here in this data port, it will just take a second for this to recognize. So the flash drive has been recognized, and if I go to the USB here, Disney Plus is in there because I loaded the Disney Plus APK because I wasn't sure if the native one was going to work, and it did. But you're able to also use that here with the install version. Another thing I want to test is that multimedia input here. So right here I have plugged in a USB-A with a USB-C adapter to the data port. Again, this is just the charging port, this is the data port, and it took it. So if we look at it closely here, it shows that the USB drive, that's the one I plugged in, it downloads the entire directory, which is fine. And then when you go over here, there's the MOV and the MP4 file, because I don't know what file type it would take. Looks like it would take both, but if we press on this MP4 file, it shows multiple file options. You can either do always or just, and I'm going to select that default video player. And if I just hit just once, there you go. You got that short video populated over here, and you can play that video while this is in the back seat. So you are able to plug in something with the USB drive and be able to play from the back. So that's really great. Now, another big drawback of this same screen in the past was it didn't have Bluetooth. So it could only connect the Bluetooth to the Tesla's main screen, which was a bummer. But now they made it so that you can connect to this wireless Bluetooth headset. If you look at it over here, I have this connected. I already tried it, and this is my headset here, and it says I have got 90% battery on this headset. So I'm able to play, and I played music through this screen, and I was able to hear it from this device. So that's great. They fixed that issue as well. Let's test the airflow. Now let's start with the very, very middle. This is in level 5, not in level 10. This is in level 5. So at level 5, this is what you see. There's decent amount of airflow on this side. There's decent amount of airflow this way and this way. So if you look at it, there's some airflow going here. So this vents are already kind of positioned towards the right and left, and you see that. So there is a little bit of airflow here, and this is 5 again. This is not 10, this is 5. And you see that? You see pretty good airflow here directly, which is good, even at level 5. Now let's increase this to level 10. So this is blasting the air. You can hear that? And of course, wow. This is great. In this way, as you see, it is still blowing a lot of air. As we get closer to it, as we get farther out, even here, there is a lot of airflow even closer to my face over here, and even on the side. Look at that. Okay, now this, I can live with this. Okay, look at that. There's a lot of airflow. I mean, it's crazy. Wow. Okay, this is what we have been looking for. So, got there. Here, let's get closer. We do here, not so much, but here you get it. So if you're sitting on this seat, you're still feeling the air that is going through there, and that's what we have been asking for all this time. So here, of course, there is a lot. Here you still feel it. Wow. All right, so I showed you this rear entertainment and climate control display from T-Sport line, showed you all the functionality, the features, and this is amazing. This is by far, without a doubt, the best and most stable version of the rear entertainment and climate control display we have ever tested. And keep in mind, we have tested all of them so far. So the version 1, that was very difficult to install. It had larger air vent. The graphics were not too great. Version 2 was this version, the same structure over here with larger air vents, but it did not have Bluetooth settings. The graphics were clunky. That was not a very good version as well. Version 3 is when they decided to change everything and put this really small slot for over here for the airflow. So it was a stable version. It did have a lot, but then the airflow was just not great. Version 4 is the one where there was larger air vent over here, but then it was this really weird system where it took a lot to install it. It did have its own speaker system, but that was also not a great version because it took a lot to install it and the graphics were not that great. And then, where are we? Version 3, 4, and version 5, I believe, that's where we're at. I'm losing track of all of it. Version 5 was the one which it had the dual air vents, so it went from up and down, which was a great change of pace, but then the airflow was terrible. We tested the airflow. So I would call this version 6, and it took them 6 tries to get this right for me. This is the version that I'm the most happy with because it has this larger air vents, stable UI, stable graphics. It allows you to download everything. You can change the units. There's no restrictions on this one, and all the apps and everything works great. We tested the airflow. It works great as well. Of course, it's not going to give you the same airflow as the OEM version because the OEM has larger air vents here. If they put the same air vents here, this screen would have to be a lot smaller. So they did a really good job at designing this and listening to the customer feedback. I also really like that they incorporated iPhone and Android mirroring, both of them on this display. We had one display where it only had iPhone mirroring, no Android mirroring, but then it didn't have the App Store. But this one has the App Store, mirroring. I mean, everything that we have asked for is there. Seat control, there's just a lot of feature packed onto this display, and this looks like more of a well thought out QA/QC display rather than something that they just whipped up overnight and be like, here you go, test this out. This one did not have any bugs, and I just really like that approach with this design. It was also really interesting that the OTA upgrade actually worked. I'm not sure if it is going to continuously work over time or if they are going to send us a file, but when I click on that OTA upgrade, it actually started the upgrade. So that means they have somewhere the software update is stored on a server of some sort. At least that is what I think, and that would be great because, you know, in the past the companies say, oh, hey, we have an OTA upgrade like Tesla. When you click on it, nothing happens, and then they send you a file that you have to download and put it on a flash drive and stick it into the display. What's the point? What's the point of OTA upgrade if we still have to stick a flash drive on the display? So this one did not do that. When I click on the OTA upgrade, it actually took me to a software upgrade and it upgraded the version. So I hope that that continuously is the case going forward for this display. Now, a couple of feedback for T-Sport line. I wish they made this so that we could adjust the venting system over here. So we would have a little slot over here where we can change this, the angle right and left, and make these vents kind of face wherever we want it to. These are fixed venting system. They do a really good job, but these are fixed venting system. Another thing that I wish they had was a built-in speaker. This does not have a built-in speaker. You have to either connect it to the Bluetooth headphones or the Tesla's speaker, and it works great, but I wish it had a built-in speaker. And then third, it does not have a 5G or 4G capability. There is no place where I could insert a SIM. It shows on the display that there might be a capability, but I don't see anywhere where I can stick a SIM card here, because that would make this display perfect. As I said, we have reviewed a lot of this in our channel, and it almost feels like there is 2 steps forward, 1 step backward type of deal. In some cases, they are like 3 steps backward, 1 step forward. But this one, I think this is definitely in the right direction. Almost perfect. There are just some features that I wish it had, but other than that, this is a great solution. I do not know the pricing for this yet because it's not listed in T-Sportline's website, but as soon as they list it, I will post this video and you will be able to click on that link and go to their page. You can use the discount code Shiva Tesla to save some money. Thank you very much for watching our videos and continue supporting our channel. We have a lot more Tesla accessories on the way. Please make sure you are subscribed to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and come back again soon.